Okay, we have one camera, we have one creator, and we have two very different lenses. We have cinema lenses and we have zoom lenses. So which one's going to be the best for a solo creator like myself? So the guys at 7Artisans have sent me two lenses to have a play with. I've got a 12mm with a T2.9, and I've also got a 25, which goes down to a T1.05, which is going to give some of that amazing bokeh. But I didn't want to just test these in the normal city here of Shenzhen. I wanted to go somewhere a little bit different. So I thought it's a perfect opportunity to get out of Shenzhen. So we're going to head up to an old city called DaPeng. It's about an hour out of Shenzhen. It's an old fortress, got a lot of history, a lot of culture. It's going to give me a great chance to test these two cinema lenses and these two zoom lenses against each other and see how each of them can perform in that location. So let's pack everything up here, jump in the car and head up to DaPeng, and let's see what we can create. Okay, so I'm going to try and make sure today is not too tech heavy. It's not going to go into all the specifics of these lenses and whatnot. It's more about just a practical use of getting out there and testing out my zooms, my Sigma zooms against these cinema lenses, just to see how they compare, what they're like for just practical use and stuff, when you're getting out and doing a daily shoot. So let's head on in. I'm going to start with the cinema lenses because that's something that's still very new to me, and I want to see how they perform. So these 7Artisan lenses are prime lenses. There's no manual focus, there's no zoom. And it really slows you down when it comes to shooting a lot of shots. But at the same time, I actually kind of like that. It makes you more intentional when you start setting up. Even for now, for example, to sit up here, I had to set something up to make sure that I am in focus. Because I can't reach the camera and I can't adjust it, I had to set it all up prior to taking the shot. So it made me think more about the composition, made me think more about the lighting, really set it up to make sure that I know where I'm going to be sitting so that I'm also in focus. So it does make you more intentional when it comes to creating your footage, which can be a good thing. But also, like I said, it does slow you down. So that's where sometimes the zooms have a lot more of an advantage, specifically for this style of shooting. And then we have my Sigma zooms. Now these are the lenses that I use for pretty much everything, from my vlogs, my travel content, all of the stuff that I do here in Shenzhen as well. These are the lenses that pretty much cover everything. So now let's do a little bit of a comparison of what these are like and what their strengths are compared to the cinema lenses. So I have two of these Sigma lenses. I have a 28x70 f2.8 and I have the one on the camera now, which is a 17x40 f1.7. And they're my go-to lenses for my travel, my vlogs, my production videos, everything that I need to be doing. So today when I'm coming in here with the cinema lenses and testing out the cinema lenses compared to what I would normally be using, it's actually been quite interesting. There's a few shots which I prefer being shot on the cinema lenses, with able to pull in the shots and how to structure and get the composition. But I'm also still leaning towards the easiness of creating these sorts of videos with my Sigma. I don't have to worry about the focal lengths. I can still get that pretty good bokeh behind me. It still suits my style of shooting. But we've still got a bit more we've got to go and discover here in DaPeng. So let's go and do a little bit more play, take a bit more shots and see what else we can find between these two different lenses. Let's go. Okay, it's getting rather hot. Had to get out, grab some food, take a bit of a break, get into the shade here and just sort of give a little bit of comparison between these different lenses. So I wanted to look at the differences between the zooms and the cine lenses to try and narrow down for people like ourselves that are like solo shooters getting out there and creating. So I mean, for portability, I still think the zoom lenses are going to be the better choice. You can have one or two lenses and they can pretty much cover everything you need. Whereas when you start going prime lenses and cinema lenses, you're going to need a lot more lenses in your bag to be able to shoot those different focal ranges. So that's one side of it as well. But then when you're looking at the character, the cinema lenses are going to give you that little bit of creamier look when it comes to your bokeh. It's going to give a little bit more, more of that cinema look when it comes to shooting some of those shots, especially when you're trying to set it up properly and looking at your coloring, your background and things like that. So the cinema lenses are definitely going to have more character. But overall for the, for run and gun shooters like ourselves, getting out there, vlogging, travel videos, things like that as well, maybe a combination of both. I'm leaning more towards the Sigma lenses just because of the versatility of what they can do. But I do like using some of those cinema lenses for certain scenes when I'm shooting as well. So I think there's a lot of different comparisons we can do there, but I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to get into this food, enjoy this food, and we'll get out there and do some more shooting.
It's a faithless road I'm on. I need you, baby, 'cause it's been darkness all along. I need you, baby.
Okay, so this sketch is all done. It's a little bit more expensive than I was paying for and probably a little bit too colorful than I was expecting as well, but that's beside the point. All right, let's wrap up these lenses. So for zoom lenses, I think I'm still gonna stick with my Sigma lenses. They're my go-to. They're easy for vlogs like this. They're easy to get out there and do a lot of that travel stuff on the go, run and gun, can get it all done quite easy. But I am liking the cinema lenses when it comes to slowing down, really thinking out the shots, getting that different sort of a character to those lenses as well. So I think probably the sweet spot is to probably have both in my bag if I can. Having a couple of zooms and also a couple of cinema lenses as well gives me that flexibility to slow down and really structure some shots when I'm traveling and with doing some different types of locations and stuff as well. But then having that run and gun with the zooms, definitely the way to go, especially for vlogs like this. But at the end of the day, as we're trying to do, is we're trying to create stories. We're trying to capture what we can, capture experiences and share them with people online as well. So that's my main goal. And whatever tools I can use to try and do that, that's what's going to make it more successful. But I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you got something out of it. Drop the comments below if there's any questions you have on these lenses. Be happy to answer those as well. And I will see you in that next video. So he's just grabbing his photo, his selfie shot and everything as well. Putting it up for the shot. Okay, so I wanted to do a quick test too on the focal, the T-stops. So we're at T1.05, so I've got myself in focus. Now this is a manual focus, so I've got to keep checking in, and I am looking at the phone or the screen above to make sure I'm in focus. So I can adjust that to make sure that I'm definitely in focus there. So, but if I step out of that or come in too close, then instantly I'm out of focus. So I've got to be very careful that I stay, roughly in that focal range, that I stay, I think, in focus. Now, if we change the T-stop, leaving the focal range as it is, and let's drop that T-stop right back out. I'm going to have to adjust the ND at the same time. Now we can get a lot more of that background in. We get a lot less separation, a lot less bokeh as well. But now you can sort of see, that's all the way at T16. So it gets pretty good separation. Back into focus with myself there. Got a lot larger. I can move forward and back a little bit more there, have a lot more focal range. But we don't have that separation. We don't have that bokeh. I like having that full, bringing that T-stop all the way back down again, bringing that ND back down again, making sure I'm in a nice range. I like that look, I like that separation, especially for these talking heads. So that gives you a bit of an idea of how much separation, how much clarity you're getting around your subject, depending on how good you want to go with your focal. I'm not obviously to see the screen very, very clearly, so I have to be very careful that I am staying in focus range, but it gives you some ideas.